First Lady Dr. Jill Biden actually arrived in Detroit about 24 hours ago, stayed overnight, and then was scheduled to visit a Detroit public school about 10 o'clock this morning. She showed up just as the news was breaking about her husband. Paula Tautman was there for that dramatic entrance. She is live outside the Schulze Academy for Technology and Arts on Detroit's west side. Paula.
Hi, Karen. Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. You know, these kinds of show and tells are very important to an administration because they know the media is going to show up because it's the White House. Even though we don't have an exchange of questions or information, we get to see what they want us to see about how your tax dollars are being spent. Very tightly controlled, well scripted, but let's face it, today, that script was flipped, and we got to see in real time how this White House is dealing with COVID. Today, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden deviated from the program to become the first informer.
My husband tested positive for COVID. I talked to him just a few minutes ago. He's doing fine. He's feeling good.
The revelation comes mid-stump as the First Lady hit the road on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration to tout the federal monies infused into school districts to combat COVID learning loss and summer learning loss.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you all.
In Connecticut yesterday, Detroit, and then Georgia today, the First Lady didn't downplay the diagnosis, but did make a point of saying that the president's symptoms were mild and that because she had tested negative, her schedule would continue as planned.
I tested negative this morning. I am going to keep my schedule. I am, according to CDC guidelines, I am keeping masks. And so I'd like to go in and see the program here. Learning loss as an educator means a lot to me. What did the students tell us, like what you enjoy about the program, like how it's made a difference for you?
Schulze Academy for Technology and Arts in Detroit is where the stop was, and she was every bit the cheerleader for seeing the Biden-Harris American Rescue Plan at work, in which $122 billion has been micro-infused to help schools reopen and to help students catch up.
I can finally say that over the last 2 years we have felt equitably funded, that we have the resources that our children and families need to be successful.
We're going to learn about figurative language.
For the Detroit Public Schools Community District, of the billions allotted to various states and districts, DPSCD received $808,495,042, according to Detroit's Chalkbeats calculation. And so the First Lady saw firsthand summer learning and summer enrichment programs, from photography
Some different angles
to cooking and nutrition.
So you take this home with you and you cook for your family?
There was palpable excitement from the First Lady and Education Secretary Miguel Cardona. Now, you know, it's always important when the White House comes into communities, we cover that. And so I guess you could say that we kind of had two big White House stories happening in Detroit today. But here's the other side of this, Karen, and that is that this school district really wanted to tout what it's been able to do with tax dollars, your money. They don't really get an opportunity to do that when something like this happens. But we are going to dive a little bit more into it as we're able to coming up at 5. Karen.
All right. Thank you, Paula. And our coverage of the president's diagnosis continues at 5 and 6. And NBC will be taking over tonight at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News. Look for team coverage anchored by Lester Holt right here on Local 4.